Hello, and welcome to Passion Works Yoga. It is the middle of the afternoon for me, so I've been feeling a little bit lethargic. That seems to be the case for me most days. But yoga is something that often helps wake me up. So I thought it would be a perfect time to share a little flow with y'all. And no matter what time of day it is for you, welcome to your practice. Today, we will use a couple of props. So as usual, I like to have something under my feet, like a little rolled out blanket or a bolster of some kind, a couple pillows or cushions. Today we'll also use a strap. So I have a yoga strap that has this two set of rings on the side, and it's just a long, about 1 to 2 inch strap, 2-inch wide strap. If you have something like this kind of prop, like a belt or even like a robe tie, something that just has the same kind of shape and length. We'll use that in today's class. And then blocks, nothing in particular that we'll use blocks for today, but they might be helpful for one pose that we will be working into. So just depending, you might want blocks or something of similar size and shape. So let's just begin here with a little bit of hip walking. So imagining kind of like your sitting bones, those pointy parts of the pelvis are your new feet. And you're just gonna do like a little waddle backwards towards the back of your chair until you can't walk anymore, and then forwards. Hands can be on the hips here or somewhere that feels comfortable, maybe a little more balance, a little more stability would be hands on the chair. As you walk forward, just be mindful not to walk your hips right off of the chair. It's always important to keep safety first in your practice. So staying safe in your body and staying safe in your mind, just being respectful of who you are, where you are, the body that you're in. And we'll just walk back towards the front of the chair if you've moved anywhere else. And just find a place that feels right for you, a place where you can start to check in with your posture. So feet can be about hip width distance apart here, maybe wider feels comfortable for you. That's something I've learned recently, is a nice adjustment for a lot of people. I prefer to have my feet a little bit closer. It helps kind of connect with the lifting of my back, but that might be different for you. So just finding a place that feels grounding for you. Gently pressing your feet into the surface that they're on. And just notice your posture. Notice if you're leaning in one direction. You could close your eyes to begin that inward awareness. It's a little closer look. Sometimes closing the eyes can be helpful with that. Notice if you're feeling a little heavier towards one side or the other. And then just start to lift the chest, even if it's 5% more upright. So like you're lifting your chest over the hips. That might be a really small adjustment. Almost like you're welcoming a lightness into the upper body as the lower body stays rooted. Good, so we'll keep this posture thing in mind as we move through the whole class. Something to just be mindful of as we move through a yoga practice. And just to warm up through the center of the body a little bit, bring the hands to the tops of your legs and just start to rotate the spine, the upper body a bit. Just leaning to one side, leaning forward, leaning to the other side, and then all the way back. Kind of like you're making a big circle with the top of the head on the ceiling. Like if you had a pencil, really long pencil sticking out of the top of the head, just drawing a big circle here. Notice your feet on the ground, and whenever you'd like, you can circle in the other direction. Kind of waking up the sides of your body here. And let's slowly just come back through the middle. Just finding your posture again, your upright position. Let's take a big breath in here. A full breath out. Let your chin drop down towards the chest. Just dropping the chin, letting the head be heavy for a moment. Let your next inhale bring the head back up through the center and look over one shoulder. So just turning your head to look to the right or left. And then possibly look gently behind you. So we're not pulling really hard or really trying hard to look behind, just a gentle gaze back. Notice if the neck moves a little more. And exhale through the center. Inhale to the other side, holding here for a little bit of time. Maybe looking a little bit behind you. And gently release through the middle. Come back through the center, and let's start a little dynamic movement side to side. Inhale to the right. Exhale through the center. Inhale to the left. Just continue with this for a couple more rounds. Moving the neck, moving the head. And gently be back in the middle. Just reaching one hand down to your side. Let's stretch through those fingertips towards the ground. And then flip your palm to face back behind you. Just getting that little inner rotation of the shoulder joint. And then option here to look away. Look in the direction that you were. Lengthening through the side of the neck even more here. Into the shoulder, the upper chest even. And option here to drop the chin down towards your chest. So looking at the ground. And then looking up towards the ceiling. And then back down. One more shift in the neck here. Let's look forward, keeping the ear close towards the shoulder. So we're still leaning the head over, just changing in the direction in which we're looking. Looking forward, lengthening through those extended fingertips, maybe wiggling them a little bit just to remember that they're there. And gently come back through the middle. Relax that hand, soften the shoulders. Slow breath in through the nose here. Full breath out. And let's switch sides. Extend your other arm out. Palm faces behind you. And then gently look over the shoulder. So starting with that familiar motion of the neck. Gently reaching through the opposite hand that's extended. When you're ready, just tilting the chin down towards the ground, look down, and then look up. Find some space here, notice what you feel, and look down. One more shift here, going to look forward, keep your ear close to that shoulder, and breathe. Breathing length through the side of the neck, shoulders soften down, reach through the fingertips, and let's slowly release back through the center. Take your time. Head back through the middle, hand on the leg, and just soften. Maybe even take a couple shoulder rolls here just to kind of relax that space or open a little more. If you're shoulder rolling backwards, maybe take a couple of those forwards here. Good. All right, let's cross one arm over the body. So just reaching across here. We'll scoop the arm under the opposite arm. So almost like you're hooking the arm in with your elbow and then hugging it in. You can use your arm like I just showed you, or another option would be just to use your hands and gently hug in. To feel a little more sensation here, you could draw your shoulder down a bit and then maybe even lean your head in the opposite direction. Extending through your fingertips here. Just slowly release through the middle. Other side. Gently crossing the arm over, hooking the arm, or using your hand. Sometimes even just crossing the arm can be enough. So just check in, adjust. Let your shoulder drop down if you want to feel a little more. Maybe wiggle the fingers. And gently relax. Let it go. Shake it out. Let's bring the hands out to the sides. Just flexing your fingers back towards your arms just for a moment. Really spread your hands wide here. And then slowly curl the fingers into little fists. Doesn't need to be super tight fists, just fists here that feels all right for you. And circle out. Circle your arms. Having your arms extended like this will build some strength in the arms. You might already feel a little sensation, a little bit of heat building. If you were done with the strength building part at any point, just bring your elbows closer to your body and just focus on the wrists. So you can always decide what it is that you're going for with your practice. The things I'm offering are all suggestions. Keep that in mind. Great, so circling out here for just a little more. Maybe you find a different motion that you haven't already. And let's just extend the fingertips once more, just slowly stretching the hands out into big palms, stretchy fingertips, and then gently release down, just softening. Preparing for sun salutation. I know we practiced the sun salutation the last class, which is one variation of seated sun salutation. So if there's another way that you like to flow through that, by all means, feel free to. If you would like to stand and practice sun salutation in that way, please know that that's fine as well. I'll be leading it through a chair variation. So if you are standing, you might need to kind of improvise or Imagine the cues that I'm saying translating to a standing place. So let's start with the feet rooted. Again, feet can be about hip width distance apart or a little wider. And I would suggest maybe widening out the legs for sun salutation, just to give yourself some space for folding forward, which will feel better on the hips, or at least it does for me when my feet are a little wider. Also gives space for the belly to come through. So, feet rooted, let's stretch the arms up. Take an inhale. Exhale to fold, hands onto the thighs to help. Maybe finding a little lean forward. Let your inhale bring you up halfway, just looking forward. Press your feet down. And then release back into your fold. Let your next inhale bring you up to an upright position and bring one knee in towards your chest. So just squeezing the knee in, holding onto the back of the leg or the front. Exhale, bring the foot down, round into cat pose. Hands on the thighs, imagining that beach ball coming in towards the belly. And then we arch the back and look up, cow pose. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, arch the back, look up. Back to neutral. Inhale as you bring the other knee in towards your chest. And then exhale, bring the foot back down. Round your back. Inhale, look up, arching. Exhale to round. Inhale, arch the back. Come back to a neutral place. Stretch your arms up. Hands to heart center, exhale. Just pausing here for a moment. Feel free to close your eyes or keep them open. You might notice a little faster heart rate, a little change in the breath possibly. We'll do a couple more rounds of sun salutation. Feel free to add on, adjust, hold poses for longer. I'll be leading it breath by breath like we just did. But please know that this is a suggestion and just modify your practice. Do what feels right for you in the moment. Listen to your body. So pressing the feet down, sweep your arms up. Inhale. Exhale, we fold, hands onto the thighs for support if you want it. Inhale for length in the back, look forward, press your hips down. Exhale, fold again. Inhale brings you to rise up as you bring one knee in towards the chest. Exhale, your foot comes down and round into your cat pose. Inhale for cow, chest lifts, shoulder blades hug in towards one another. Exhale, round. Inhale, cow pose, broaden across the collarbones. Exhale, round in. Let your inhale bring the other knee in towards the chest as you sit upright. And plant the foot down, round your back, cat pose. Inhale for cow, arch the back. Exhale, imagining that beach ball coming in towards the belly. Inhale, arch the back. Exhale to round. Just come back to a neutral place. As you stretch the arms up, inhale, hands to heart center, exhale. So I may have added some extra cat and cow in there. Feels good for me. Sorry about that if it's confusing. We'll stretch the arms up, find some space here. Exhale, fold over the legs. This will be our last round of sun salutation. Lifting halfway, find some length in your back, look forward, and fold again. Lift and bring one knee in towards your chest. Exhale, foot down, round into your back. Inhale for cow pose, arch the back. Shoulder blades hug in. Exhale for rounding. Other knee comes in towards the chest as you sit upright. Hug the knee in, inhale. And exhale, foot down and round. Cat pose. Inhale, lengthen the back up through the armpits. Look up. Exhale for rounding. Inhale to stretch your arms up and look up. Hands to heart center, exhale. Good. So pausing, resting, breathing. Just notice what the body feels like here after a little bit of dynamic movement. Or in yoga, we call that vinyasa, where we move with the breath. Let's bring the arms out into cactus arms next. So elbows gently drawing back, broad across the chest, feet pressing down. We'll gently twist to one side. I'm pretty sure we practiced this last week as well. So just feeling into the hips on your chair or the ground if you're seated. Gently release through the center and switch sides. So this pose can be practiced in the chair as I am doing right now. You could be standing. You could be seated on the ground with the legs extended out in front of you or cross-legged. Let's come back through the center and just do that once more on each side. Let's find that connection to the center of the body. Take an inhale here. Exhale, release through the center. And other side, gentle twist. And let's gently come back through the middle. Hands come down. Let it go. Good. So, let's bring one knee in towards the chest. Bring your hand onto the top of that leg and start to circle out your hip. We're circling here. Notice your hips on the ground, on the chair, on the chair. And you can use your hand that's on your leg to assist or make the pose a little more challenging. So to assist, your hand might be kind of almost like lifting your leg up as you're circling. You can circle in the other direction. Or you can find a little resistance, like your hand is pressing into your thigh and your thigh is pressing into your hand. Warming up through the hip joint here. And your circles might not be the same as mine. So just please know that, just check in with how it feels, the range of motion in your hip. And that's about all I have in me for today on that side. So you could keep going, or whenever you're done with that, just place your foot down and move to the other side. Pressing that foot in, lifting the leg up, and circling. So again, assisting or resisting, finding a little bit of a pressure of your hand down and pressure of your leg up into the hand for the resistance. Just breathing here. Good, my leg is already shaking a bit. But when you feel ready to be done with that, bring your foot down. And let's just free up the hips a little here. You could bring your feet wide. can scooch to the edge of the chair and just do a little windshield wiper. Windshield wiper of your knees side to side. And gently come back through the center. Let's take the strap. I mentioned we'll be using this for a pose. We'll actually make a little loop with the strap. If you have something that's not really possible, that's okay. I'll show you what you can do without making the loop. So you can take your loose end of the strap and bring it through both of the rings on your strap if you're using a yoga strap, and then back through the one that's closest to the side you went in on. So just finding a little loop just to secure your strap. And we'll wrap one foot in to the bottom. Once you have your foot in, find your other foot on the ground, and then you can choose to hold on to either side of your strap here. My knee is still bent, just so you know. You can extend your legs straight. You could also bring your arms into your strap to kind of make it hands-free. Sometimes holding onto the strap can be painful on the hands, so just kind of noticing if that's the case for you. Adjusting. We'll be here for just a little bit longer. So personally, I like to grab this strap kind of closer to my foot and let my arms relax back into their sockets. I'm holding on with my hands, but I'm not gripping with my hands or using a lot of strength with my arms even to hold the strap. It's more of just kind of a resting in the grip or whatever. So from here you could pull your leg out to the side a little bit if you want, a little bit back towards the middle if you'd like, and then eventually just coming back down, relaxing, moving your hands, your wrists, your legs a little bit, maybe bending and straightening. And we just move to the other side, bringing the strap to the bottom, gently adjusting so you feel comfortable. And I wouldn't say this is the most comfortable shape to be in. So just distinguishing between discomfort in like, I've never been in this pose before, or discomfort as pain. We're definitely not going for pain. So if that's the case, you can feel free to back out of the pose. Bending the knee more might feel better to you. Checking in with your back. If we're really letting the back round, sometimes that can feel a little bit painful there. So lifting the spine again, doing a little posture check, and adjusting your legs to keep that posture continuous throughout. And feel free to draw the leg out to the side or to the middle. And I didn't mention this before, and maybe some of you have already figured this out, but you could do this laying on your back as well. It's lifting your foot straight up towards the ceiling instead of straight out in front of you. So just another option for that for future or for now. We will move into dancer pose next. So kind of like what we did with tree pose, you may choose to stand and you may choose to stay in your seat. So either one is fine. Dancer pose requires some opening in the front of the thighs. We find a lifted chest and we balance in one way or the other. So if you're choosing to stand, I'll go through that option here in a moment. I'll show the chair variation because that's where I am. And how I like to get into dancer pose is actually just turning to the side and placing one foot flat on the ground out in front. I know that's kind of dark back there because of these extra props and things here. Place the foot on the ground here. And then this is where the block might come in handy. You can bring your block out in the front of your chair. You could bring your foot, other foot that's not flat on the ground, out behind you and place the top of the foot down onto your block. Let your knee gently drop down towards the ground. So that's the opening in the front of the thigh, the hip crease, even the psoas, this side part of the belly. Big connected muscle there. Need my block a little farther back than I planned for comfort here. So please know that adjusting is totally fine, just finding a good place for you. So once you have your setup with your legs, you could start to stretch your arm up and overhead. So arm of the front leg, reaching it up, other hand on the hip, your chair, or you might even choose to grab onto the top of the foot. So please know that that is an option as well. Just using the chair for balance, holding on behind you, or even holding on to, that doesn't feel very balanced for me. So holding onto the chair, a wall, if you're grabbing onto your foot. So finding that space and lifting the chest wherever you are. If you're standing, you may have already found your way into a variation that works for you. That's great. I'll show one option I really like is bringing the foot on the top of the chair and finding your little dip down of the knee from there. So just dipping the knee down, finding length, lengthening through the other arm, looking up and breathing. Another option could be to use the chair sideways and actually grab onto your foot. Breathing here, finding that nice quad stretch, and maybe releasing your arm and stretching that up. So finding your variation that works for you here, chair or standing. Breathing throughout. And whenever you feel ready to switch sides, just go ahead and do that. Finding your props, whatever you need to feel supported. And again, remember safety being the number one thing. If we don't have safety, we don't have our root, which is very important for kind of building this yoga awareness. The root is a really important thing to remember as we move through our practice. So finding that, setting yourself up, and then building from there, growing from there. Continuing to breathe, finding a lightness in the chest. And wherever you're coming from, just gently starting to make your way out. You can relax somewhere that feels right for you. Child's pose. In the chair, I like to rest my forearms on the thighs and just kind of drop my head in. If you're on the ground, feel free to bring your knees wide, forearms on the ground, or arms extended and forehead on the ground. And let's slowly just come back up and meet in a place that feels restful for you. So maybe hip walking back towards the back of the chair. If you're on the ground, possibly laying down. We'll take about a minute of Shavasana here. Quiet time to allow the body to rest, the practice to settle. If you'd like a longer Shavasana, feel free to stay where you are and just be for the next little bit of time. I'll invite you to join in a pranayama practice. You could start by bringing your hands onto your belly, or one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. Remaining in a relaxed position, or coming to a more upright position. I'm moving more upright to allow breath to flow a little more efficiently. This pranayama is 3-part breath. We'll just start with a slow breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Begin to fill up the belly through the nose, the lungs, and the chest, all in one inhale. And one section at a time, releasing chest, releasing breath from the lungs, releasing all the rest of the breath out of the belly. And beginning again, slow inhale, belly, lungs, and chest. And releasing chest, lungs, and belly. Just repeating that 2 more times on your own. When you reach the bottom of your exhale, feel free to just relax, rest the hands easy. Feel free to open your eyes or keep them closed if they were closed. And we'll just end with the hands at the heart center, just a little bowing of the head. In gratitude for this practice, just thanking yourself for showing up for practice today. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining in. Goodbye.